how fast time flies. And so I was thinking this morning, what do I want to talk about during my live today? And I thought that since we are ending another month and we are going into the last month of the first quarter of this year, I thought it would be appropriate to kind of talk about goals and just to kind of give you some perspective on setting goals for yourself and the importance of that. So anytime you're able to set a goal, that gives you something to work towards. Now, if you're not including any kind of action steps or ways to get from where you are to that goal, then that makes it a little more challenging, because then it's more of like a wish or a dream than a goal. So goals come along with plans. You need to plan for those goals and actually do some work in order to accomplish them and achieve them. So I am very goal oriented. I really like to set goals for myself. I set monthly goals, I set quarterly goals, and I set yearly goals. And I find that to be very important just because it keeps me focused on where I want to go. And not all of those goals are business related either. Some of them are personal, some of them are family, some of them are just goals in general. So for example, if you follow me, you know I have a goal of hitting a certain weight by my birthday. That is the goal that I am working on very diligently every single day. It is at the forefront of my mind every day. And I make choices every day based on that goal. So for instance, this past weekend, Mike and I had a date night Saturday night, and we went to Rock Bottom down at the waterfront, and they had an amazing sounding salmon dish, but it had a sweet glaze on it. And so I opted not to get that because that sweet glaze sounded as though it was going to be sugary and it would throw me out of fat burn, and I decided that I was going to get the steak instead. And that steak was supposed to come with mashed potatoes and green beans. The salmon, however, was supposed to come with cauliflower rice. So I switched out the mashed potatoes and I got cauliflower rice instead. That is the first restaurant I have ever been to that cauliflower rice was a side dish option. And it was delicious. The steak was amazing. And then after dinner, we walked around down at the waterfront for a while, and then we had tickets to a 7 o'clock show at the Pittsburgh Improv. That's one of our favorite places to go. Even if we don't know who the headliner is, we have yet to be disappointed. The comics that they have down at the Improv have been amazing. And so this weekend, the featured comic was Derek I'm going to mess it up. Knopfsnyder, I want to say is what his name is. He was absolutely hilarious. He's going places, absolutely. And then we saw Jesus Trejo. He was the featured comic. Both amazing. But my point is, we get there and they have a 2-item minimum at the Improv. You have to purchase 2 things. And so I ordered a Diet Pop because you can't just order water. That doesn't count as ordering anything. So I ordered a Diet Pop. And Mike and I are looking at the menu. I'm looking to see if there's anything on there, appetizer-wise or anything. And there was nothing really appealing. They had a Caesar salad, but I really wasn't hungry enough to eat a salad. But of course, as old habits work, I looked down at the dessert section, and oh my goodness, their desserts sounded amazing. And I was like, no, those desserts aren't getting me into that 2-piece bathing suit that I want to be in when we go to the beach in May. And those desserts are not getting me to my goal weight by my birthday. So no, I'm not doing it. As luck would have it though, they sat another couple at our table, and didn't they decide to order the desserts? And I'm telling you, that chocolate, because she ordered what I would have ordered. They had a chocolate lava cake with vanilla ice cream. I could just smell the chocolate. It was tough, but I didn't cave. didn't cave at all. Because my goal is right there at the forefront. And every time I am faced with the decision, I have to ask myself, is this going to move me towards my goal? Or is this going to keep me further away from it? Is it going to slow me down? Is it going to add extra time? And every time I kick myself out of fat burn, that's 4 days that it takes me to get back into fat burn. So I chose not to have the dessert. And I look at it too. I want to say it was an Olympics years ago where there was a team, and I want to say they were from Singapore, but I'm not really sure. I don't know the factual information of the story. But this team wanted to win the Olympics, and so they decided as a group that every decision that they were going to make over the course of the next few months was going to be based around the fact of whether or not their decision would make their boat move faster or not. So kind of the same thing for me. Like if they were faced with the choice to order that dessert, adding extra weight to them would slow their boat down. So they did not want to gain weight. So everything in life that they were doing, is this going to make the boat go faster? That was their goal, to win the Olympics, and they did everything in their power to make that happen. And I do believe they won the Olympics that year. But anyway, so aside from that, I do have other goals, which is why I'm on my way to Butler on a Tuesday. I normally only go to Butler on Thursdays. However, I have made the decision that I need to get out of the house more. I spend way too much time in the house. And so a couple of days a week now, I am intentionally going to go into Butler. That was one of my goals. And so for the last month or so, I've been really kind of just figuring out where I want to go, what I want to do, stuff like that. I used to really enjoy scrapbooking. That was something that I was really passionate about years ago when the kids were a lot younger. And then for whatever reason, I think it was mainly because I ended up going back to work and just life was hectic and I never had time and I never really had a space or anything to do it. I stopped scrapbooking. But I decided that I wanted to start pursuing that hobby again. And so starting next week, I have some classes scheduled and I'm going to start doing some classes and start doing some things like that. I went to the library last week and I got a library card. And so that's actually where I'm headed today. I'm going to go to the Butler Library and I'm just going to hang out there just as a change of pace, different scenery. I know it's not going to be the best place to like socialize or anything because it's a library and you're supposed to be quiet, but I just really want to get out of the house and just in a different surrounding, because it does get kind of lonely and kind of, mundane, and I find myself very distracted at home. Another one of my goals is I want to be able to do title transfers and licenses and stuff with my notary business. And I find it very difficult for me to want to sit down and read through the huge amount of stuff there is for me to read through. So I brought that with me, and that's what I'm working on today at the library. So I'm actually working on two of my goals at one time, getting out of the house more and working on getting set up to be able to do titles and licenses and all of that. Because there is a huge need for that in Shakora. I get calls every week and I have to unfortunately turn people away because I don't have the equipment to do that. So I really want to have that done this year. So I'm just challenging you to think about things that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't even have to be big things. Like for me, just wanting to get out of the house a couple of days a week and finding things that I would enjoy doing. Maybe for you, you want to start a new hobby. Like I'm going to start scrapbooking. Maybe you want to learn how to cook a certain dish. Maybe there's just things that you've always wanted to do and you haven't done yet. Set a goal, set an action plan, give yourself some very doable steps on how you can start creating that, and then just do it. And that was a lot of what Mike and I did on our weekend away in January when we sat down. We sat down and we talked about all the goals that we had for this year, and I had a lot. me closer to where I want to be? Did I hit my monthly goals that I set for myself? Where am I at with my quarterly goals? Because I'm 2/3 of the way through the quarter at this point. Where am I at with my yearly goals? Because we're 2 months into that now. So I only have 10 more months to go for the rest of the year. And just so that I can make sure that I'm pacing myself and I'm in action enough for each one of my goals and really working towards them the way that I want to be. So that's kind of where I'm at today with it being the last day of the month. And I just encourage you, set some goals. It's not too late. Just because we're 2 months into the year doesn't mean you can't set some goals for this year. I love asking people about their goals, just because sometimes somebody will tell me something that's their goal and I never thought of that, and then I'm like, maybe I want to add that to my goals for next year. So it's just very